Hey everybody, welcome to this episode 3 of the Crazy Yarn Lady video podcast, where I talk about yarn and all things crochet. Today on the episode, I don't think I'll have any distractions because all my kids are gone. The kindergartner, he's in kindergarten, and the two others I put in daycare today because I'm leaving tomorrow to go on to a funeral in South Dakota. And so I have so much to do before tomorrow. So I just put them in daycare for the day. So no kids today. It's wonderful. I've gotten so much done. The house is still a mess, but I've packed and cleaned my car and sent out some emails. I've just been like I've just done so much today. And I'm like, what is this life without having kids in my house? So today I want to talk to you about the essential items that I use as a crocheter and crochet designer. These are the things that I just use every day. Some of the things are affiliate links, probably a lot of them because I use these products a lot and talk about them a lot. So, some of them are not affiliate yet, I think. So, yes. I just want to talk these. Okay, I honestly use these items every day, and I love them. They're tried and true. Maybe there's better products out there or better ways of doing things, but this is just these are the tools of my trade that I use. Some people think that crochet designing is just sitting here and crocheting all day. But more often than not, it's not just about the yarn and the hook that you use, but about other like digital products. It's about sitting at the computer and, cranking out patterns and emails and talking with testers and weighing yarn, measuring yarn, doing math, whatever. So I just want to talk about the tools of my trade. So I guess the most common thing, it's in my hand, is crochet hooks, hey? I have a lot of crochet hooks. Some I use a lot and some not so much. I'm like looking here and I'm like, where's the crochet hook that I used to use all the time? So I have like 3 hooks. Anyway, I'm looking around, can't find it. I learned how to crochet on a boy brand hook, size J. This is an H, but J. I have like 2 blue ones and a green one somewhere, but maybe they're in a project bag somewhere. That used to be the most common hook that I had lying around, and I still love it because that's what I learned to crochet on, and that is it's just tried and true to me. But a few months ago, I ordered myself a streamlined swirls. This is not swirl, streamlined wood. I do have streamlined swirls. These are both J hooks because that's what I learned how to crochet on. So these ferrule hooks, this ergonomic, good for your hand hooks. I've started using these and I love these. My hand wouldn't cramp a lot with the boy hook, but sometimes. But I haven't had any cramping with these, and they are just easy to hold. So I use size J. I recently received this N hook. This is the Odyssey in the navy and nickel. This is a size N. I used this one to crochet that Pikachu, and it was really good. It works so smooth. I like the nickel. It's similar feel to the aluminum. As far as like how the yarn slides on it. The streamlined swirl, that's resin. It's very lightweight. This one I think I can take on an airplane. I don't know. Can you take like this metal one on an airplane to crochet? I'm not sure. I'm going to bring I do like this wood. It's lightweight as well. It just kind of feels different. I often put my hooks in my mouth, right? When I'm like in dealing with my kids and crocheting at the same time, or like trying to untangle yarn. So when I do it with my wood, I just feel like it wears down on it. So that's one downfall about the wood. Yeah, these are my hooks. I crochet a lot using J, like I've said. I'm more of a tight crocheter, so a lot of times when testers are testing out patterns that I use with the J, they're like, I have to switch to an H to meet gauge. And that's, yeah, so maybe if you work my patterns, you want to use an H instead. But also I found that when I use a J boy, it's more like an H. But when I use one of these one of these furls ones, the gauge is different, right? So always test your gauge using the hook that you're going to use, and don't switch hooks. So there's a little tip for me. I do have a lot of these other ones. I bought this cheap pack from Hobby Lobby. I do not like these resin hooks. They catch on the yarn and it makes it kind of nasty. Here's this 15 millimeter I got from Hobby Lobby. I use this to make some big wall hangings using some jumbo yarn. This is just basically decoration. This is from Michaels. This is a 25 millimeter, and I did use this to make like a big chunky blanket. Some people just like do hand knitting, but I did this with my crochet. And then I just basically use this as a prop, and I think it's funny. I was at Michael's the other day and I saw one that was even bigger, and I want to get it just for fun. It's like, here's a 15 millimeter, and this is a wood one from, I think this is from Hobby Lobby too. But just the tip of this wood has kind of rubbed raw. So that's one thing I don't like about wood. I have had these other homemade ones sent. These were kind of fun. These are H's from Nicoletta. She found me on TikTok and mailed these to me. I wish I had my J boy hooks, but I just don't. So here's a G. What did I use a G for? Oh, I was making a baby blanket using some really fine yarn. And then here is a 1.5 millimeter. This one I use to crochet zippers onto products. I have a couple pillows that I've used zippers, and this is, I kind of use this to stab into the zipper to crochet instead of sew around my zipper. Where's yours? This is an E. Oh, I bought this for a nativity crochet one that I never actually have used yet. I haven't done that crochet one, but I really should, because it'd be great to have crochet nativity set. I'll link that pattern below because I think that's really fun. And yeah. So a few other links to like furls is down below if you want to get some of these awesome hooks. They're a bit spendier than the boy hooks or anything from Hobby Lobby, but I think it's worth it. So if you want to use my affiliate link and help me out as well, that would be great. Yep. So I need to weed out some of these hooks, but I have them stored in this simple bobble basket. This pattern is free on my blog, or you can get it very cheap on Etsy and Ravelry. Yes. Let me weed out some of these hooks. Another thing that I use, since it's sitting right here, is these cute scissors. I got these as for being a Darn Good Yarn affiliate. These unicorn scissors. These cut like a dream, and they're just cute. They're unicorns. It's not really my brand. Like, I don't know what would be my brand, but there's these. Moving on to yarn. I go through a lot of yarn. I used to be like Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. I used to buy that all the time, and I have certain colors that I buy a lot. But I haven't gone there very much anymore because they stopped doing their 40% discount and stuff, and I would just go in there and like buy a quick thing of yarn if I ran out. But I buy things on sale, and they have all their yarn on 30% off sometimes. But I wanted to drop by there today because I was nearby, and I'm like, oh, they don't have a sale on their yarn today, so I didn't buy it. And I've been partnering a lot with We Crochet, so I've been experimenting with their yarn a lot, and they have provided some yarn support for me. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about right now. One of their most common yarns that I've been using is the Bravo Worsted. This is their basic acrylic yarn. This is colorway Denim. It's this light blue color, and I love it. I use these to make my pumpkins, my cozy alpine pumpkin. I use this one and a navy one, and it's 100% acrylic. You can machine wash it, tumble dry it. It's great. I use an I through K hook. It's Brava. It's basic. I use this a lot. Another one, I don't have the label on it, but this one is Mighty Stitch in Oyster. I use this to design it's back here. Oh, it's stuck. That's not good. On Velcro. I use this to design my Monstera leaf corner to corner blanket. This one is mostly acrylic yarn with a bit of superwash wool. So it is just very soft and it's shiny. This is the colorway Oyster. Ivy is this green. This is Oyster. I also ordered this Oyster Heather. It's like a little different. It's darker. This is Wool of the Andes. This is a new one that I'm just trying. And I have 3 colors of this one that I am going to use the moss stitch. And I'm like, maybe a 4th of the way done or a 5th of the way done of a Christmas blanket using the moss stitch in these 3 colors. This is Noble Heather, and this one is Gingham Heather, and this is like a tweed. There's lots of different colors in there. And then this. So this is Wool of the Andes. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and it hand wash, dry flat. I haven't really worked with wool very much. It's a tiny bit scratchy. As I'm working with it more, I'm finding it's not really as scratchy as I think it is. But one that I was really excited that they sent for me to work with, I'm doing this big project that's starting in October, and I'm using Swish worsted weight. This is a fine superwash merino wool, and it is soft. It's nice. This is a bit spendier than like this basic wool of the Andes, but so far, much softer. Swish worsted. This is Serrano. Just a bright red for a holiday project that is launching in October, and get excited about it. I'm working on all the details, and it's going to be collaborative with other people, and yay! Okay, this is not Reef Crochet. This is Lion Brand Heartland yarn. And this is Acadia. I have a pillow pattern that's coming out using this, and also a blanket pattern using this. But this one is this is the worsted, and this is super bulky. Both my blanket and my pillow are different patterns, but they're using the same colorways. This is the thick and quick, and this is just the regular Heartland. I love these yarns. I use them in everything. Oh, and this one I've talked about before. This is the Madeleine Tosh wool yarn. This is glazed pecan colorway. This is for a pattern that's coming out in October, and they gifted me this yarn. And so I don't use this all the time, but I do like this. And I hope to collaborate more with Madeleine and Tosh in the future. So those are some fun yarns that I have been loving a lot lately. I have a couple patterns using Bernat velvet yarn, and I just think it is so soft. One thing I don't like about it is that the ends always come loose and you can't really weave them into itself. So that's a problem. And then I have kids and they get their fingers in the yarn and it's just slippery and the stitches kind of come out. So this is my velvet Georgia pillow pattern. And even it has its bubbles, but the bubbles have become flat. So I don't know. I really like how soft this yarn is. I also used it in my Piper's blankie, but it is just not, it doesn't hold up as much. Her blankie is nice, maybe just because it doesn't have the same textures. And my sons don't just pillow fight with her blankie, but I don't know. I love how soft it is. It just doesn't hold up. So those are the yarns that I use a lot of. I don't have the I Love This yarn by Hobby Lobby out here because I haven't used it in a while. But I do like that yarn. It's soft. It's cheap when it's on sale. But okay. Other things I use as a pattern designer. I've talked about my scale. This is just a kitchen scale by Escali. I got this from Target. I got it in gold because I thought that would be kind of on brand for me. It's cutesy. You could just use any kitchen scale, digital scale. So I use this to weigh yarn to see how much I've used. As you know, on labels of yarn, it says like how much, 50 grams to 110 yards. So you weigh the yarn and you're like, okay, this used to be 50 grams, but now it is 40 grams. So I've used 10 grams and you cross multiply and divide and figure out how much yarn you have used. So there's a lot of solving for X in pattern designing, which I did not realize. You sit there in algebra class and you're like, when am I ever going to use this? And that's when you're trying to figure out how many yards. Another thing I use a lot of is a ruler. I think there's better ways, but this is what I use to measure my gauge. I measure like a 4 by 4 inch square and count my stitches in my rows. I also have, it's not here, but just like a measuring tape, like a loose one that you would use to measure your bust, whatever. I use that to like, okay, this blanket I created is this big. I don't want to use just a regular ruler for that. I use my flexible measuring tape. This has my husband's name on it. He had this in high school. So no affiliate link for this one. What else so yeah, those are what I use most often. What else do I use? I have a lot of notebooks around this place that have little notes about my patterns, just ideas for patterns. I do my math in my notebooks. This one is so cute. This says, shh, I'm counting. And it's like a marble finish. This is a gridded notebook. So if I wanted to write my grids on here, like to grid out an Afghan from corner to corner, I could do that on here. This I got from Rebecca Has Crochet, her Etsy page. I just love her stuff. I've shared her stickers on here, and I probably shared some as well. Here's math. Here's a sketch for a design I submitted. It didn't get accepted by a magazine, but I think they had just canceled that future submission call. So whatever. And I usually use just whatever pen I have lying around, or a crayon, or a colored pencil for my kids. Another fun thing that I use, this isn't for pattern designing, but I've done a craft fair and I sell finished products on Etsy. And I'm going to be selling more finished products on Etsy. I mean, another product. I will be doing another craft fair as well. Anyway, these product tags has my logo on them. And then I can fold them either so it looks like that, or if I have it on the bottom of a project. I got these from a designer on Etsy, and I'll link that below as well. Here it is in use. Here is a little coffee cozy I designed a long time ago. I don't have a pattern for this one yet, but maybe in the future. Oh, it's upside down, but there's my logo on there. I think these are cute, and I just sew them right onto my projects. Oh, here it is. Juniper and oaks. So those are the products that I've been using a lot lately. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm missing. I don't think so. I don't have a lot of whips to share with you right now because, like I said, I'm working on this big collaborative project that comes out in October. And I am crocheting that moss stitch Christmas Afghan. Is that the UPS guy out there? There's some guy out there. I don't know. So that Christmas Afghan using this wool yarn. I finished a pillow pattern that will come out in October. I finished I've wrapped up a lot of projects, and I just don't want to share them right now because I want the patterns to be more secret and enticing. Let me know what questions you have about the products that I use. I do recommend everything that I'm sharing with you because I use them a lot and I use them all the time. I guess the wool is what I'm getting into now, but I think I'll recommend them. What products do you use a lot? What's your favorite? What should I check out? Maybe if you recommend something that I like, I'll feature it here on this YouTube video for another episode. Let me know. And I can't wait to hear from you. I can't wait to hear from you. I'm scatterbrained because I only have a little bit amount of time left before I have to pick up my kindergartner and pick up my kids from daycare. And I just might sit here and enjoy the silence for a minute. My house is a mess and there's toys everywhere. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Just so you get a little peek at what my real life looks like. Here's where I had my phone sitting on. So look at all those toys. Yikes. All right. Well, anyways, ta-ta for now. Like, comment, subscribe to this podcast, and I would really appreciate it if you click that bell as well so you can be updated when I launch something new. And bye-bye. Happy crafting.